Hello. Hey all. So welcome to the today's tutorial. Today we will see how we will implement the different angles in our pool table. So by default when we are starting our game, so it is starting like where the camera is, and when we will build it for the windows or like some platform, then it will not work. It will just spawn it as a 000, which will not be good. So what we will do, we will just create a pawn, and then we will give some default values, and using C, like we will put some input, and using that we will set some different angles so we can look at the same table with different angles. Like first angle will be this, like it will be kind of perpendicular to the table. Next will be like somewhat like this, and next will be like this. So we can set as much as views as we want. So we will get the brief idea how we can implement that. So just go to the go to C++ class. In the actors, just right click, and it will we want a pawn to be there. Just click on pawn, and it will be like sorry, it will not be the BP, so it will be like cam base, cam manager will make more sense. So cam manager, and that's it. Just create the class. So this is our user error. Just click yes, and go to the again, just click on any CPP class, so it will open the writer or any IDE which you are using. As soon as it will be up, then we will resolve that issue which we have got. It's up. So just look for the class which we have created, but it is not there. Just wait some time just to load it. In the meantime, let me close all the tabs. Okay, it is loaded. If you will go to the CPP, in the include section we have a actor as the prefix, which we don't want because our CPP class and the header file, they are in the same folder, so we don't want that. So we have our cam manager now. So by default, what do we want? Like we want the it will have a spring arm, and there will be camera attached to it, which we will rotate it at the different angles, correct? So for that, first we will create the component. First go to the header file, like Alt O is the shortcut. Again I will create the public section just for the like I'm creating public section for the variables, and another public section is for the functions. So we have one more public section. So what I will do, I will just delete this and will shift these two functions above, like below the. Okay, so first thing we have to create the uSpringArm component. So uSpringArm component, springArm component star. So it is giving us a red bar, like we have to include its definition, like where this file exists, or what I will do, I will forward declare it, which means let me click it, and it is saying forward declare. So what it will do, it will just, we are just promising that we will define, like we will include it, but right now I'm just forward declaring it. Okay, and I will name it as spring arm component, right? So spring arm component, spring arm. Next component I want to create is the uCamera. So uCamera component. So as soon as I press the tab, it has included the camera component. I don't want that because I want to include it in the CPP file. So what I will do, I will again do the same with this one. So camera, just write camera, and but it might be a possibility like the parent class also does like, but it is not the case. But it might happen like when you are creating some subclass, you are like defining the variable which is very generic, and it might be a possibility that the parent class has that variable. So always make sure to have the naming like which doesn't collide with the parent one. So I will camera component I will write, so it will make more sense. Same with the spring arm component. Okay, I will also forward declare it. What we can do, just class and U camera component. Okay, so now what we will do, we will just go to the constructor and we will construct it. Like first is this spring arm component. So spring arm component is equals to the create sub default sub object and use spring arm component. As soon as I have prepped tab, it has included this include statements, which was very important. Now we are in the CPP, so it is important to include that. We can also like define this thing in the header file, but what it will do, like it will create like whenever it will create the loop dependency. Let's imagine I am including this in the 4 files, so it will include all the like spring arm, camera arm at the same time, which we don't want. Like when we are fetching the actual file, the CPP, then we want to like this file to be fetched. Okay, so here I will give it the name text spring arm component. I can do one more thing. Like by default, this default scene root is there, which we haven't defined yet. So what we can do, just to follow the same hierarchy, we can create the spring arm, the scene component too. So okay, one thing I forgot to enter the U property. So edit anywhere. I will do the same thing for the below one. Next thing is the U scene component. This is very important. So default scene root. So what I will do, scene root is equals to create default sum object use scene component as equals to text. Here I will give the scene root, and I will define this as the setup attachment root component. Okay, think we are good to go, and I will attach the spring arm component setup attachment to the scene component scene root, and then I will create sub object of the camera component, U camera component. As soon as I'm pressing tab, the like ID is including the header file for me, so just make sure that you are doing the same. So I will just use the same name and camera component setup attachment, and I will attach this camera to the spring arm component. That's it. So we are done with the hierarchy. Next, what else do we want? We want spring arm to have some default length. So by default I want it to be 10. So spring arm component set length target length arm length, okay, is equals to 100. What else? This is it. So just let me compile this much. So just control B. Okay, so let me okay, so what I will do, I will go to the blueprint sections. In the actors, I will create the blueprint variant of that class. So camera manager or cam manager, yep, m cam manager. So next bp underscore m cam manager, press enter. So let's check if everything works fine or not. So we are following the same hierarchy which we have created, right? Okay, compile and save. So let me drag and drop it above the table. So by default, what do we want? I want it to be as the top, like in the top. So what I will do, I will like go into the top view, and we'll see if it is in the middle or not. So it is in the middle. Next thing which I want, I will set the rotation to it. By default, like let's imagine minus 90 and 90. So what it will do, it will Okay, I want this orientation to be there, but next thing is I do want to have some location. So as soon as I will, it is colliding with the table, so that is why I'm having, some edge here. So when I will rotate it, it will give some room. Like when I'm, just coming down, as soon as I'm colliding with it, the camera is going down also. So this is the default position which I do want. So what I will do is just click on this camera button and I will possess it. Player 0, just click yes, and let's play if it is. Yes, it is working perfectly. uh, there is one issue. I want this orientation, and okay, so I want 180-degree rotation along Z, so -90 will be good if I'm not wrong. Let's check. Yes, now it is good. The white ball is at the right, this is at the left. Okay, this is perfect. So what I will do, I will just save this rotation, and like in the camera manager, I will have the like I will save these rotations. So first is like I'm just writing it roughly. So in the Alt O, in the okay CPP, I'm just writing as the comment. So by default, which we were using, it was 0 -90 -90 -90 -90. Next, which I do want in the rotation is like I will rotate it along x-axis, I think, which is roll, and like by 30 or 45. So what I will do, I will like this. Okay, no, I don't want that. Okay, yes, I do want this. So -30, -60 will be good. Okay. Next is we can also set some offset right there, because when I'm playing it, it is giving me some gap on the top, which I don't want. But uh, let's see how do we want to do with it. Or like we can keep this as default, like in the initial phase. So 0 -60 and -90. 0 -60 and -90. Okay. And the third one is like I like I just want to have slight rotation on the z-axis too. So what I will do, I will -60. Let's put it at 45, -45 or 45. Let's check how it is looking. Hmm. It is looking good, but if we can move somewhat more. No, the 45 is good here. -30 or 60, -70. 50. 60 is good for now. Then we will rectify it later. Okay, so I will like 0 -60 and 45. 0 -60 and 45. Okay, so this thing I will save it inside a variable, and on the click of C or the camera change, we will implement that. So let's do one thing. Go to the edit project setting in the input. Let's define the action mapping. Just make sure that you are creating the action mapping, not the axis mapping. So camera change. the camera view change will more appropriate. View change, and I will put it on the C. Let me copy. Okay. Next is we have to set up the input, which is quite important because in the acta we all this is pawn. Okay, in the pawn we already have the u input component, so we don't need that. In the acta, like if it if this is pawn, like in the acta we don't have this function, so we have to define the u input component there. Okay, let's do the binding first, so then we will go forward. So player input component dot action bind action. Here we have to put the f name. Here I will put some value, just comma ei input event. So I want this value, like I want to trigger the event when I am pressing that button, so comma where I want to define this function, so it is defined inside this class, like we will define that, and here I have to provide the function address. So am cam manager, here I will define the camera view update. So I haven't defined, so here the like this function doesn't exist, so I will just press alt enter, create member function, yes, so it will create the function for me. So it right now it is in public, but it will not be the part of public, so I will make it private because I don't see any reason like to have this function to be in the public. And again alt enter it now to generate the definition. It has generated definition. So what I'm doing right now, so let me go through it again. Here I have to enter the function's address, so I created the function. Here we have to define like inside the header file. In the header file in the private section, just define it, and in the CPP you have to give the definition. That's it. So it will happen when we will provide like press the C button. So just copy, and here we have to provide the like action mapping name. So the next thing is we have to define the array of the rotator. So we will define as t array in the header file. So in the header file in the public section, I think it will be a good idea to have it in the public, and we can change it to in the blueprint. So in the u property I will define the t array, and it will be the type of f rotator. What else? And I will name it as pawn preset camera preset rotations, because it's an array, and we will initialize it here. So camera t array camera preset rotation is equals to, here we will define it f rotator. So we have 3 values to go, so I will just copy paste it, and I will just copy these values there. So first was 0 minus 90 minus 90 comma minus 90. Second will be 0 minus 60 minus 90 minus 60 comma minus 90, and for the last it is 0 60 minus 60 comma 45. These are the 4 values. Okay, we need one variable too, like which will point to the current location, like current rotation. So again it will be in the public. So your property, I don't think that we need to change it in the blueprint. So I but like I will make it blueprint readable, but I don't want to change it at runtime, like, so it will be the type of int and current camera rotation index, and by default it will be 0, as by default integer value will be 0, so we don't have to define that. So when we will press the camera viewport update button, it will fire this event, correct? So what we will do, we will check, we will uh, add in the current camera rotation index. So current camera rotation index is equals to current camera rotation index plus 1, and we want remainder when we will divide by the length. So the length is camera preset rotation dot size or length or count num. Okay, I always I always do mistake with this one. Okay, so so this will be the current index, and what we will do, we will set it to the current we will set the rotation of this actor. So what we will do, like set actor rotation, and here we have to give the f rotator. So camera preset rotation, and here we will provide the current camera rotation index. That's it. Maybe we what we can do, UE log temp warning text. So it will be the type of %d, and I will provide the current camera rotation index just to check we are working fine. Choose an index. Okay, let me compile and check if it is working fine or not. Let's go back to our Unreal Engine. Let's check. Let me press C. Oh, it is fucked. So let's do one thing. I think because by default, which the value which we have set is it was this. So so we will do set that. So it was 0, -90, and -90, if I'm not wrong. Let's save and try to like rerun that again. Just press C. Okay, when we are playing, like the value is, let me check the value of the pawn. Pawn manager. Okay, camera manager. Camera manager is here, but I don't see don't think this is the one. Let me eject it out. BP camera manager, BP. Okay, cam manager, this one. The details, it is -90, -90, it is correct. Let me press C now. Again eject it, and let me check it is my okay. So the issue is we are doing it in the X and we want it in the Y, if I'm not wrong. So we are setting -90 as X. So let me go back pitch roll. Oh, okay, that's our mistake. uh, so it was XYZ. X Y Z, and it was roll X Y Z. X Y Z. Okay, so for the X it will be 0, Y will be pitch, so minus 90 will come here. Oh fuck, just give me a second. Let me rerun that again. Just let me copy this. So this was in the XYZ. So X, which is 0, it will come here. X Y will come in the like here, minus 90, and Z is the yaw, so which is correct. Okay, so again, so for this one it will be 0, X, this will be Y minus 90. So we have to change the sorry, we have to change the like first one and the last one, so 45 and 0. Let me delete the last one, control B. Now let's try that again. Press C. Let's go to the CP manager. Let's check for the values. I don't see that array. Okay, here it is. Just reset it, compile and save. I don't see like this should not be the case, like when we are changing in the CP plus class, sometimes we have to hard reset it, like by clicking that button. So let's check that values again. By default it is 0, minus 90, minus 90. This is correct. For the second is 0, minus 90 and minus 60. If I'm not wrong, it was exchanged. It was minus 60 and minus 90. Minus 90, 45, and it was minus 60, and it was 45, minus 45. Compile and save. Let me check. Okay, now it is fine. Okay, for the last, what I want to do, like the camera location should be like this, somewhat like this. So in the Y, like is in the Z, in the last one, I want it to be positive 45. Let's check if it is, it will look fine or not. It is somewhat correct, but let me minus 45 again. Okay, like we can do this. 0, minus 45. Okay, minus 45 is going here. It's little confused. If we will minus 90 is, let's make it 0 and check how it will look, or else we will keep it same. Okay, 45 is right here. Oh, okay, let's do one more thing, like just for the test, like minus 45 again, and minus 45, minus 90, plus 30. Let's do minus 60 then. I'm just checking the value. This is not that important, just for the visuals. 0 minus Okay, I'm exhausted, so I will keep it minus 45. Okay, so that was it for today. So like we were checking like how we can change the cameras at the different preset. Let's imagine you want to set the camera at 10 different location. What you can do, you can just like add the camera's rotation from here only. Just add it plus plus plus, and you can put the values right here, and that's it. It will do the task. So that was it for today. Please like and subscribe. If you have some queries, how like if you are not understanding how we are doing this stuff, any calculation, then do let me know in the comment and I will help you out. Thank you for today and joining me, and you can also help me on the Patreon. Thank you and have a nice day.